Good morning, traders. I know that the market just isn't easy. There's always a change. And I think that right now we need to be asking ourselves my top question in trading overall. This is it. What is the current environment that we're in? Let's talk about it right here on live trading. We can ask Ryan. We can ask Nick. You guys give an outlook. What do you think we are in the current environment? Is this risk on? Are we looking for growth stocks? Is the AI bubble broken? All things to think about. Will CPI come in hot on Thursday? Will these earnings reports start to really turn around these stocks? It seems like revenues are going down. Let's find out all about it right here on live trading with Benzinga, of course.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, traders. I'm super excited to go ahead and get my boys on here. We got Ryan Faloona in the house. We got Nick Brown in the house. We're ready to rock with you guys. I'm ready to rock. We'll get right to the stock market action. Don't worry. We got a lot to talk about, of course. The first thing I'm going to take a look at is the trades that I have on. I have a short on Wayfair, of course. You guys saw me actually open that up right here. And I really got to find out who this UBS analyst is because we're going to take snapshots and we're going to send him an email thanking him for upgrading Wayfair to buy for making me money on the downside, baby. You guys think I'm joking too. I'm going to send him the email. But he's going to be so pissed when he sees but it's all good. UBS doesn't like me anyways. We'll keep going. We'll keep taking a look at what else is going on in the market. But yeah, shorting Wayfair against that outlook. You know, sometimes when analysts say buy, I normally think the opposite. So we'll see what happens there in Wayfair. XOM still got this one for the long. We'll see what happens. I wanted to hold 106 today. So we got to keep an eye out though, because if it starts to break down through that kind of that 105, we really can't hold it through that level. So we could get some quick wick action on the hourly today. After an hour in the market, we're still down below this kind of like 106, 105, 75 area. That's when I'm going to determine if I should just run towards the profits. Because it could just be a big wick and then it collects some volume and comes right back up through the 107s. So that's what I'll be looking for in XOM today. We'll see what happens. So you guys know both outlooks, down and up, right? That's how I always want to think about with my swing trades. What's the downside action? What's the upside action? And then what am I doing on these situations on both sides? We'll see what happens there in XOM. Of course, we'll take a look at the SPY. I'll let Ryan go ahead and take a look at the SPY for you guys. I am starting to see a little bit of some topping action. I think we're going to come closer towards the 50 moving average. Do I think that the SPY is going to completely break down towards 420? No, but I can see 440s in reach, and that does seem to like make sense. Big levels for me on the SPY, 446.27 to watch today, but kicking it to Ryan for his outlook. And of course, if you guys have any stock you guys want to check out for some swing trades, daily setups, or anything, feel free, mention it in the chat. Ryan, I, or Nick can take a look at the catalysts that are out there. Now to kick it to my man Ryan as we take a look at the S&P 500 or the SPY in this case, of course, and we'll see how we keep moving. What are you seeing out there, Ryan?
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing out there. Mitch, I see a very similar thing to what you see. I see a topping pattern here on the SPY. I think we go lower. Good morning, Kel. Nice to see you. And good morning, Jay Rice as well. I love the comments on Mullen. We'll get to that here in a sec. As far as SPY goes here, Mitch, I'm in complete agreement with you. I think the first real test here is going to be 444 to the downside. Remember, like I said yesterday, 444 represented significant resistance as we tried to bust through it, butted up against it several times before finally going through it. One 2, 3. I think there were actually 3 days in a row in here. So we really did try to, that should be some really good support. Now, right beneath that is the 50-day moving average. That should also provide some support. But what I'm targeting is a little bit more aggressive than Mitch. I'm targeting this purple shaded area on my chart. Bottom end of that is 425. Top end of that is 430. So that 5-point range is where I'm thinking the SPY eventually settles. I would not be shocked at all to see bounces at the 444 level or the 50-day, which is currently at 441. So I think it's probably not going to go straight through that. It's going to take some work to get through that. It's like from the Seinfeld reference when you're trying to knock over a vending machine. You can't just push it over. You have to rock it back and forth a few times, and then it goes over, and you can take all the stuff out of it for free. So that is what I think is going to happen here with the SPY. Once we start breaking down some of these areas, we'll then determine the next area that it can go to if it doesn't bounce. The other thing that I wouldn't be surprised about is that whatever this sell-off, wherever this took us, if the market just bounces like crazy and we, rip to the highs again, that at this point wouldn't even shock me given what we've seen. But that's what the SPY is looking at. Let me go ahead and give you a couple of small cap stocks to take a look at, and then I'm going to turn it over to Nick. Nick, I'm assuming you're going to go through Moody's downgrade of the 10 banks at some point.
We'll cover
okay,
that.
Great. So I'm not even going to mention that. I'm going to leave that for you. Now, as far as some small cap stocks, targets for today, let's talk about them. First one here is going to be Buru, ticker BURU, Bravo Uniform, Romeo Uniform. This is Nuburu. They popped as high as 250. They really kind of come back into the VWAP here, which is great. Looks like it popped again and is coming back into the VWAP. We did have news on this. I can't load my news panel for some reason. What's going on here? I'm going to try it again. Let me try a different stock. I'm sorry. I don't know why this is not loading. This was loading just a second ago. Let me try and refresh it. We are going to have a couple here. Buru, Drug, ONDS, GooG getting back in here. Here we go. Buru here. Contract with NASA for next generation blue technology. That just sounds pretty cool. So contract with NASA here driving Buru pretty significantly. Definitely want to see if we break this 250 to the upside. Would love a pullback to the VWAP and then a trade back up towards that top end of the range. That would be absolutely perfect. Drug here again is popping. This popped as high as 779. Come back and we're right beneath the VWAP, but watch for this one to kind of reclaim it. We did have some data. Bright Minds Biosciences announces positive QEEG data from the first in-human phase 1 study of lead compound BMB 101. So some good news there for Drug. That is popping it here today. Next is going to be GooG. We've traded this one before. You folks should have a good feel for this one as we've traded this a number of times. GooG did pop almost as high as 2. Looks like we're kind of leaking here, so maybe wait for this to firm up before we take a stab at it. Gorilla Technology Group has hired Global Economics Group for due diligence, advancing in battle against illegal short selling. Takes aggressive action to defend the stock from manipulation. I think this is kind of a fluff PR. We'll see. Let's just stick to the technicals on GooG. That's really done the best job for us so far. ONDS, this is another one. This is actually a long-term hold that I'm significantly underwater on, that I've just been hanging on to for a long time. No sense in selling it down here. I think eventually this recovers. They did announce a new contract here with the Saudis, it sounds like. Ondas Holdings Aerobiotics enters strategic alliance with the Saudi Excellence to establish local drone infrastructure throughout the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So this, obviously, the market's really liking this. ONDS is popping here. Again, because this is a long-term hold, this is not something that I would trade. This is something that I'm just holding until I get back to my cost basis. And just to give you guys an idea of how much I'm down on this, my cost basis on ONDS is 512. Okay, so I'm almost 4 full points down on this. It's a long-term hold, but having a good day here today. So looking pretty good. A couple more to mention here. Novo Nordisk, they reported earnings. I think Nick's going to go over this. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. This is the semaglutide stuff, the Ozempic, the weight loss drug that's really driving it. The same would be true for Eli Lilly, which had a strong earnings report here today. So watch those, especially if you play options on those. Also, NVAX popped. We popped as high as 10. We've really kind of come back in, but we're trying to reclaim the VWAP. They had earnings this morning. Conference call is still going on. Was there something else in here? And it was update to guide, COVID vaccine, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So watch NVAX today. Looks like they had really good earnings. AMC looks like it's up here, but I don't really trust that, so I'm not going to cover it. Tilray is up here. Nick, you ready to go? These are all the small ones. Big ones I'm watching are going to be Buru, Drug, and Gur.
Yep, I can. We can start. If you could throw up a chart of Palantir, PLTR. I'm just going to roll through the earnings because there was a parade last night and this morning. Palantir reported earnings, adjusted EPS 5 cents, estimates for 5 cents, revenue 533.3 million, estimates for 532.4 million, adjusted EBITDA 143.4 million, estimate was for 130.1 million. They're going to buy back up to $1 billion of shares. They see Q3 revenue 553 million to 557 million. Estimate was for 553.9 million, and they see full year revenue about 2.21 billion. They saw 2.19 billion to 2.24 billion. So they're narrowing the range of where they previously saw their full year revenue. This was one that you could talk about. We were talking about yesterday. Lucid Motors, LCID, EPS loss of share 40 cents. We're not comparing those to estimates. Revenue 150.9 million, below expectations of 176.6 million that was expected. Adjusted EBITDA loss 710.3 million. Estimate was for a loss of 596.1 million. They are on track to manufacture over 10,000 vehicles in 2023, and they still see full year production at least 10,000 vehicles. So I will admit, Ryan, I was wrong because I said I expected them to cut guidance and cut their manufacturing production. I was wrong on that front, and I'll admit it. It didn't go my way this time. So Paramount Global, ticker PARA, P-A-R-A, adjusted EPS of 10 cents. They beat the expected loss of 1 cent. Sells 7.62 billion, estimates for 7.43 billion. Paramount Plus grew revenue 47% and reached approximately 61 million subscribers. And we also found out yesterday KKR to acquire Simon & Schuster from Paramount Global for 1.62 billion. Now on the call, the CFO said the company will realize 2.2 billion of gross proceeds from sale of book publisher. They said forecasting 20% growth in average revenue per user on Paramount Plus in 2024. And they said promises significant earnings improvement in the streaming business next year. Chegg, CHGG, they reported earnings yesterday. EPS 28 cents, estimates for 28 cents. Sales 182.9 million, estimates for 176.19 million. They see Q3 total net revenues 151 million to 153 million, estimates for 152.37 million. And there's a lot of talk about this AI and ChatGPT in their release. And they said, quote, our recent survey shows students see ChatGPT and Chegg as complementary with very different use case. They also go on to say the new Chegg will combine the best of generative AI with Chegg's proprietary high-quality solutions and demonstrated ability to improve student outcomes. And they also say, quote, we expect the development of AI will allow Chegg to embrace a much larger opportunity over time. We believe there is nobody better equipped to meet the current or future needs of students than Chegg. That was a very different story last quarter, if you remember.
Yeah, sure was.
Yes. They fell and they says that a lot of people weren't using Chegg and they were moving to AI. Now Chegg is coming up with AI, so we're going to have to watch this.
Awesome. And really quick here, Nick, this actually looks like a pretty decent setup here today. A bust through 13. Maybe we can actually day trade this. I would use a gap and go strategy on this. So use your 9 EMA indicator. As long as the price remains above the 9 EMA, you should be good. As soon as it crosses and you get a candle close below it, you can go ahead and cut that trade for whatever gain you have. Chegg looks like a potential gap and go. Not saying that's for sure going to happen, but that would be a trade setup here on CHGG. Nick, what else you got for us?
I was going to say, Eli Lilly, you asked me to dig deeper into these numbers. LLY, adjusted EPS $2.11 above expectations of $1.99. Sells $8.31 billion, way better than expected of the $7.58 billion. They even raised their full year 23 revenue guidance to $33.4 billion to $33.9 billion from prior of $31.2 to $31.7. Estimate was for $31.44 billion, so way above there. They see adjusted EPS of $9.70 to $9.90 from prior guidance of $8.65 to $8.85. Consensus was $8.71. So digging deeper into the numbers, the breast cancer pill Verzenio, which rose 57% to $926.8 million. Sales of Jardiance, a tablet that lowers blood sugar in type 2 diabetes patients, rose 45% to $668 million. And newer drugs like Mounjaro, the company's type 2 diabetes injection, also fueled revenue growth, posting 979.7 million for the quarter. And to end it off, UPS, ticker UPS, adjusted EPS of $2.54, and estimate was for $2.50. Revenue $22.1 billion, estimates for $23 billion. Their average revenue per package, $13.92, estimates for $14.04. They see full year revenue about $93 billion, saw about $97 billion, estimates for $96.63 billion. They are lowering their full year revenue on costs from July 25th Teamsters agreement. They expect share repurchases to be around $3 billion. And this headline just crossing within the past 11 minutes from Bloomberg, UPS drivers to make $170,000 a year with benefits by contract end. So right there, UPS is lowering the guidance. It wasn't expected, so we're going to have to listen to the call. Call is ongoing right now, and any highlights, we'll make sure you bring them to them.
We need to get you a red phone for these calls.
Yes. I have a cell phone, 3 laptops, a computer. What else do we need? And also Novo Nordisk. If you could throw those shares up, NVO, they're higher after key trial data shows Wegovy cuts risk of heart attack or stroke by about 20%. The results of the closely watched SELECT trial, which exceeded analysts' expectations, were seen as a major boost for the firm's hopes of moving beyond Wegovy's image as a vanity drug. Those shares are soaring. Harker was speaking. We'll get to the numbers for the banks here in just a minute. I know we're about to open. Ryan, what is your thoughts with all these downgrades by Moody's and just your opinion on this? Do you think it's the right time from Fitch too?
I can't speak to the timing. I don't know if you remember, but I've been skeptical of how good the bank trade has been. So to hear this, it's kind of reaffirming the view that I have. Really nothing new on this. Here, let's look at some of these smaller plays here. First one I wanted to check out is going to be Buru. Looks like the first move here is down on Buru. Love for this to come into the VWAP. I'll come into this 179. I have 182 in pro here. Let's see if we get down here. Let's see if it's bouncing already. It's like ONDS. First move is down. I want Buru to come in a little bit more. Good morning, Smoked Tuna. Good to see you. You folks ready this morning? Got the whole crew here this morning. All right, coming into that VWAP here. Oh, come on down a little bit more. Come on. I'm still waiting on Buru. It didn't get a fill. It looks like it did touch it here on pro. So it looks like the different trading or the different. Here we go. Okay. Took a little bit of Buru here. 184. Looks like actually a pretty good entry. Don't have a full position. Just grabbed a couple of 100 shares. See if we can bounce. If we go a little bit lower and hang right around the VWAP, I'll double this position up. And we're bouncing. See if we can get back above 2. Wiss, what was your entry on Buru? You had a pre-market entry, if I'm not mistaken here. I want to see if Buru takes out 2 here. There we go. Back at 2 here and through. Let's go. Should have added more. It's going to halt.
There's only one sector in the green from the open.
It's going to halt.
Healthcare.
All right, so this is 2 days, and I don't know what's going on, folks. Someone might need to slap me. This is 2 days in a row now that I have been trapped in a day trade that is halted. So Buru here halted 206. I'm in price 184. Just small position, just have 500 shares. So we'll see what happens here. Much like yesterday, if this when this opens, it's going to open. When this opens. Especially if it goes higher, I'm just going to close this trade for a gain and move on. So Dan, Buru 184 also. Let's go. Jane, Buru 183. Let's go, folks. You guys are all hitting that. I love it. Be sure to not let this trade go against you. Make sure you book these gains. We're going to start today off correctly. Okay. What are you guys seeing? I'm going to wait this out here. I'm just going to make sure I wait until this is unhalted.
I was going to say, someone in the chat, Jay Summers, asked if I ever received a reply from JB Hunt on their decision to acquire Nikola Trucks. The answer is no. Never got a response.
They don't
Shocking.
have one, man. They don't have one.
They don't have a response.
I don't know if you guys saw AMC reported earnings this morning, even though they were supposed to report tonight.
Yeah,
I did
did
not
see that one.
I did
They did
not
the rope
see
dope.
that.
They did the rope dope.
What are they doing?
Well, they're just trying to show you that it's a trash stock.
Mitch is he's spicy today. Mitch has got the spice in his breakfast. I love it. You got that spicy breakfast burrito, Mitch?
I woke up
Let's go.
and I said, I feel like killing today. Let's go.
Mitch woke up today and he's like, I choose violence. And here we are. By the way, GooG just really disappointing, just totally coming back in. Eli Lilly absolutely beasting. So your gap and go would have worked on this one. What was the other one that we checked? Let's take a look at that one. Okay, so that one, that unfortunately didn't work. That popped 13 and immediately pulled back. So that probably stopped people out. Sorry about that one.
Apple lower.
Raz
already.
out here choosing violence.
Meta is actually in the green. That's interesting to see that pop like it did. It popped from 315 to 318, but I'm seeing some of the bigger stocks still down. Microsoft is in the green. Nvidia is in the green. We'll see what happens to those stocks.
Ryan, did you ever put a comparison of Eli Lilly and Pfizer on a chart and the difference? I think Pfizer on a year-to-date basis is down 29%, where Eli Lilly is up 40% year-to-date.
Yeah, so let's do that here real quick. Oh, do I not have the compare tool anymore? No, right here. Yep, compare. Eli Lilly was the other one.
And Pfizer.
So here you go. So let me actually hide some of these.
I mean, that comparison is just
amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. Look, I don't like Pfizer at all. I think they're an evil company. I'll just leave it at that. So to me, this doesn't surprise me, especially given the appetite for the semaglutide weight loss. I know they're diabetes drugs, but people have a strong appetite for them because of the weight loss aspect of it. So looking at this, I'm not surprised by this chart, but this is a really good graphical representation of how crazy this actually is.
One stock
just wanted to point that out.
One stock keep an eye out because of that, right, is just for today. I'm saying IBB. Look at it go. Look at it go. The IBB, of course, we're talking the biotech NASDAQ index fund, and you can see it already starting to get a lift there. XBI could be another way to maybe look at this, and you can see the biotechs really kind of pushing today. They just did a little bit of a pullback, now getting the next step up. Amgen's another company to keep an eye out on this as it's getting the lift here and really starting to push in the last couple of days. So you're getting a nice little lift off there from Amgen. And overall, that's helping biotechs. Biotechs really the strong area, and then drug manufacturers, the big boys, that's where Lilly's going to be. But biotechs also getting a bounce right now. So drug manufacturers and biotech is where you want to be in health. Where you don't want to be is maybe in healthcare plans, as those are all red today, even though in the sector they're doing well. Sector's doing well, healthcare, but it's in two industries, biotech and drug manufacturers. That's what I'll be watching if I want to play upside in health. Everything else to the downside here at the open, that's what's worrying me. The ones that I want to short, like JPM, already coming down here. And so already taking a hit right out the gates. That was probably the easiest trade of the day, just shorting banks out the gates. And you guys are seeing them take a big hit. Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, all these taking a big hit. So if you're looking for a way to play it on the day trade, FAZ is one way to play it here. It's already going off towards the moon. And you guys can be looking for that. I'll kick it to you, Ryan, to explain that trade.
No, I was just going to say out Buru looks like it's going to halt to the downside here. This is exactly why we said it. It popped up a little bit higher. I hit sell at market, and I actually got a price that was below the halt price by 1 penny. So it just goes to show you how fast this stuff moves. Jane, out at 213, you did better than I do. Excellent job. Jessica, out at 214, you did better than I did. Excellent job. Now Buru is halted down. So again, this is why I didn't want to stay in this. Here's the thing. Now that we've collected this gain, I did make it out with a gain, just not quite as much as I would have liked. But now that we're out of this, now we can actually set up for the next trade. So maybe this opens, stops being a halt fest, firms up a little bit. We'll take a look at it then. Out Buru here. Great great trade to start the day, guys. Looks like the almost the entire group here, or a lot of the group here, hit that. Awesome stuff.
You know, one play I'm thinking about long-term short is a short on Kava, as I keep seeing restaurants come down here, and I have a feeling we're going to run into finally some slowing down in the consumer. Looking for options maybe on that one, even some longer-term play.
Is there a Kava near you? Have you been to a Kava? I have not. There's not one near me.
I have not, and I have not heard a single person that has actually been to one say that it's bad. So I get where Mitch is coming from here, and I own a restaurant that I think might also take a hit if the consumer continues to weaken. So I totally get where he's coming from here. Long term, I do not think this is a short. I think this is the Chipotle of Mediterranean food, and I'm not saying it's going to do what the price of Chipotle did. It might also take years, because if we do have a weakening consumer, the sales might not be great. But I am not ready to say that this is a long-term short.
So you're expecting the consumer to eventually slow down. You don't think it's
I've been saying it for months, and I've been wrong, frankly. I've been wrong for months, but I think eventually it's coming. I don't think the economy is as good as people are saying.
Yeah, I think eventually Kava comes down to be like a $10 stock. That's just my outlook here.
I would buy Kava at 10 if that happened.
All right. Stay tuned, Ryan. I got you. I'll let you know when it gets to 10.
Yeah, no, I mean, seriously, I would buy some at that level.
The way that I'm thinking about this, and Bourne's asking, you're trading options now, Mitch? No, the real question is that I'm looking at long-term options, right? Because if I want to short Kava here and just hold the shares, I could, but I take a pretty good borrowing cost there. But I remember my call out for like Beyond Meat when it was at like 200 and pushing towards the upside. This is the same kind of call out. I felt this stock wasn't ever going to do what it did. And I didn't even think it'd get there to 200. But once it was there, I was like, this is the perfect type of long-term kind of option, type of short. Same thing you could have got on Beyond Meat. I think you eventually get in Kava. That's just what I think. We'll see.
We shall see. Drug is interesting here, as it's just trading above its VWAP. They actually brought in a bid here. This is a wild one, so careful with Drug if you are going to take it. Geez, no position for me. Looks like a 587, your intraday high. We'll see if that top end gets taken down.
This one looks interesting. I actually like the setup a little bit more than the Buru one that you guys were all in on. And the reason why is I like the volume that's in this one, the spread being just pretty tight here. And I feel like this one takes a lot longer to halt it, right? When it's a $6 stock. So it's actually not setting up too bad there. I like the reversals on the 1 hour. 1 hour just has nice support at 530s. So 530s is that area where you could get quick pullbacks to. That I'd look for that to hold. And then the hourly candle to the left is 516 as the next layer. So somewhere between 530s and 516s, that's where I would be looking to try to risk off of. So just going to try to understand Drug here. We'll see if it gets back up through 6.
Drug came down to its VWAP there. I actually didn't buy any. Maybe I should have. Real quickly, Smoke Tuna calling ADMP. We watched this one rip before. Looks like a first down move here, coming back to where it was yesterday. Maybe a nice little red-green move here on ADMP. Like that. I love this quote from Jay. The Peter Lynch data. No line, don't buy it. Long line, buy it. Gotta say, I wouldn't argue with that. Drug going for the highs now. That would have been an awesome buy down at the VWAP.
Man, financial services are just getting wrecked today. That's definitely the trade that I did not take out the gates. That was pretty damn easy, man. The Moody's thing really affecting banks today, and just wasn't looking at it out the gates. But look at how KRE is reacting. Look how the banks are reacting. Even the bigger ones, like, you know, shorters went after that today for sure. They're like, oh, this is just teed up right now. And look at JPM down big right out the gates, a nice dollar point. I'm sure they're taking some coverage here and already taking some profits. So let's look for VWAP fades. I'm going to look for VWAP fades. So stock coming back just slightly above VWAP, look short. That's what I'll be looking for, like JPM to come closer towards that 154. And then I can short off the next layer above towards like 154.30s or pre-market support of 154.39, somewhere in that area I could risk off of. So we'll see what happens on these banks.
Do you want to hit the bank stories?
Buru, really quick before you do that, Buru all open and rehalted to the downside. So this thing probably done for the day, at least at least right now. Drug continuing to go higher. A little pissed that I was too slow on drug here. That was an amazing move from that 560 area. That's almost a full point now.
One thing to think about, guys, and I think that one thing that I want to tell you guys is these smaller names is that this is why I like names that are a little bit more expensive, like this $5 name over that $1 name, because the truth is that one gets halted faster, right? 10% move in that 1 minute candle is really quickly happen. Now, drug is going to take a little bit longer to get towards a halt. So I feel like you have more ability to get in and out on a name like drug than you have an ability to get in and out on a name like Buru. And so that's why I would personally be looking more at a drug than a Buru. But honestly, these are not even up my alley to begin with. So just look for volume also.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Volume, flow. That's it, Mitch.
To look at the Buru volume. Is that volume that you guys want to really take part in? I don't think so, man. And I think that that's what you want to be looking at a little bit more is volume spiking towards the open, volume coming into the stock. Because Buru's halting up so much, it's just moving all around and around. It almost is trying to find some price discovery here. So if a stock's going to go up towards $2 and come right back down to 194 and then right back down to 170s, that just seems like too much risk for me on a stock that can move, 10% in what, like 1 second. It felt like it got halted there. So just trying to always call it out how I see it. You guys can still take whatever trade you guys want. It's always about risk assessment, but not the best there.
By the way, drug pulling back now from those highs below 6. Another pullback to the VWAP here wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I like the 580s to hold here. See if they hold. Looking for Wayfair to come right back down below VWAP now. They're taking a hit. CCL came right back down today, and so looks like I could have got a re-entry in CCL here. But I don't know if I should go after it right now, even though I feel like we're going to start seeing some real downside come into this market here. Don't mind it here, but I'd have to take a smaller position. Need a little bit of a bounce back towards 1770s to go short on Carnival today. Wayfair now making that down action. That's looking good there. SMCI is one that I'm actually even thinking about shorting. I feel like this is going to completely get destroyed.
Bang, got hit drug on that bounce off the VWAP through 6. Wait for this to set up again. Nice on drug.
Drug. I like that one on the 5-minute setup. The 5 minutes chart to me look even better than the 1 minute chart.
VKTX Smoke Tuna saying VKTX looks good. Actually, this does look pretty good. Nice little move through the VWAP there on VKTX. This really needs some volume.
Viking Therapeutics. Now we're talking a little more expensive. I like it. I like it.
Well, you want more expensive? Jay Rice here. Q's down for the 50-day. Q's down for at the 50-day at 365 is the next level. Damn, Jay. That was tough to read.
He put you to the
it's normally
test
great.
there,
I normally just read them and I totally get it, but that one I struggled with here. I think what he was saying is that it's down the 4th day in a row. Nope, that's not what he was saying. Jay, help me out here. Q's down 4 points. That's what he's saying. The 50-day. Let me turn that back on here. Oh my God, I'm fumbling like you wouldn't believe right now. Let's drop the comparison right here. Turn that 50-day back on. So here's what Jay's talking about. He's going for the 50-day here. 365 next level. So it looks like he wants Q's for another 5-point sell-off here. Sorry, I had to scramble through that one, folks. Jeez.
Yeah, Viking looks good there. Might not even come back to 14.
That's VKTX. That's Smoke Tunas, right?
Yep. That doesn't look too bad.
I love that on a regular basis, I address somebody as Smoke Tuna, by the way. I just got to say how much I like that.
A little part of me wants to short SMCI today, but the thing is I can't hold it to the earnings. Like, I'll just be honest. Like, I think it is going to come down off earnings, but to tell you the truth, what am I going to play earnings? I've already learned that rule way too many times. I don't play and trade for earnings. That just isn't what
Yeah,
I go for after.
it's hard. It's gambling. Jay saying, Ryan, too much coffee. Me or you or both?
First Solar looks like
He's
it's
not
starting
wrong.
to drop
I mean,
off. So I think Solar's stocks can start letting go also. So be careful out there with those Solar stocks. I would really be careful with names like that. Just don't like them at all.
Buru may be firming up here. So let's see if we get any type of volume move back through that VWAP. I'm not in it, and I'll wait it out. I'll wait for it to confirm before rolling the dice.
All right, guys. So XOM down there below 105 today. I did get that hourly down candle, but the wick is starting to come back, and that's kind of what I wanted to see. Now I need to see it get back there towards the next hourly candle, and then that next hourly candle should be green towards 106. I'll see what happens there on XOM, and I'm talking oil. I feel like we're going to get an hour of down action and then eventually start making our way back to the upside. We'll see what happens there. All right. Let's go. Wayfair now down to 81. Let's go. Let's go. Nice little wipeout here below the 81s. I can start taking some profits on this. So I'm already looking to take half out here as it starts to give me a really nice gain here. I'm going to actually look for a little bit of a cut through the 80s here. If I can get it down towards 80 or like 79, 90s. That'd be a big, big win here. So I'm going to go ahead and put an order out there at like just below 80s to see if I can get a little bit of a hit through here and just see this come right back down. But, oh, man, this is looking good.
SPY lower here.
SPY lower. All right. Let's start looking for the SQQQ. Oh, that's a wipeout move on the SPY. That's a pretty tough move there. I'm looking for that SMCI short right now, guys. I'm trying to get that right now. Oh, man. I gotta be careful with share size for a $300 stock here. The spread's a little wide too, so I'm just being careful here. All right, can I get the pop to 345? If I can get the pop anywhere near 345, oh yeah, I'm going for it.
Buru looks like it might be trying to come back here.
It's probably not going to let me do it here. Man, I might have to come at this with like even smaller share size to go about it right now. I might have to risk $2. That's the problem there. Relation for SMCI is maybe short NVIDIA. That's another relation that I can see. Meta turnaround looks also interesting. I'm seeing a lot of tech names going red. Could this be a 10 a.m. just turnaround? Maybe, but I did see those take a quick little down action move there. You know what? Let's go for the... It's just a tough stock. It's still tough to go for these like stocks that have like a spread right now. Like, look at that spread, man. That's a over buck wide spread there on SMCI. I don't know about you, Ryan, but I find it hard to trade when stocks have a dollar wide spread.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's just very hard, right, Sydney? I agree with you. No worries. It's not that I don't want to go into this name, but I'm seeing the spread. If the spread could tighten up for me, then maybe I could go after it. But with the spread this wide, you're asking for yourself to just get caught on the wrong side. And
I'm seeing open call sweeps, by the way, come through.
There you go. Are we going to see a quick sweep right back on the Qs? NVIDIA seems like a little bit better one there, and it's already wiping out for me, though. So I'm not going to be able to get this one either.
I was going to say Eli Lilly crossed 500 billion in market cap. It's now the 10th largest stock in the world.
There you go. Working its way up. What's it going to take over? That's what I want to know. So if it's working its way, it took over Walmart today.
Tesla's number 9 with a 780.17 billion market cap.
Yeah, it's close to XOM and Johnson & Johnson now. That would be the next major one to take over. If it could take over Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson around, I have it market cap right now about 439. We'll see what happens on those. How's the IBB play? That's still doing well. That 127 holding well there. X down today. Financial services down. Are these going to bounce back? Yes, they might give us the new short opportunity. I'm looking for a slight move above the 153.80s here for JPM and then right back down. Goldman Sachs is another one, but this one just let go like a tank through 350. If somebody shorted Goldman Sachs at 350, shout out to you because you definitely nailed a hell of a short there on Goldman Sachs. That's why I talked about it. I'm on pre-market prep. If you guys didn't catch pre-market prep, don't know what you guys are doing in the morning to get ready for the market, but definitely check it out, guys. We talked about potentially would the bigger banks go down off of these Moody's mentions, because in the morning they were going down, but it wasn't like extreme leak in the financials. Not like you're seeing now. Now you're definitely seeing those get hit. KRE also now back at VWAP. Opportunity.
Buru crossing through the VWAP here.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They just took some size out there. I don't want to buy green candles on this, though, because it loves to yank. Oh, they're bringing in a bid at 186. Going to be halted, I think, to the upside here.
Yeah, it's too much for me.
Yeah, I don't want to take a halt. You know what? I know that this is going to open up and pop above 2, and then I'm going to be pissed, but I really don't want to try and get into a halt.
Yeah, that stock's just too much for me. I'll just let you guys know.
Crow saying, Becca, the crow flew too close to the sun there. And now, I mean, first of all, you're speaking in third person. You are saying that you flew too close. I mean, that's just funny.
All right, guys, I'll take one here that is just kind of like a smaller swing trade. But I wanted to take the shot there. So I'm buying VKTX here off of 1391s and looking to hold off of the 1375. So it's a really quick risk, and then looking for the breakout move above the 1425s and really going like 15 today, 16 today. So I'm going to take like a bigger trade here on the reward side, but with a really tiny risk right now on VKTX. Not a bad call out. The Crow brought this one to our attention, and I don't mind that little pullback that it just did.
Actually, I think that was a smoke tuna call.
Even better. Let's do it.
Even better. Real quick, Rustam saying, Ryan, you were mentioning yesterday Monk, and it was crazy up. Yeah, so Malincrot, this does not have the wild back and forth and the halting like Buru does. It moves a lot more predictably. We were talking about Malincrot right in here. The big move came in the afternoon.
All right, so the
Malincrot actually not bad today, frankly.
First selling that I see in VKTX setting up is at the 1417 spot. That's where I think we're going to run into a little bit of resistance. If we do hit that spot, I'm not going to sell there because it's a little bit of a share size waiting there. It's only 1,100 shares. Let it hit that, and then I'm going to look for it to keep going towards the next level, which is 1449s, 1450s. That's probably where I'll take a little bit of profit and then just let the rest just run and see what happens there on VKTX for me today. We'll see what happens there. Why am I in VKTX over the other ones? It's a biotech. I'm choosing this one and I'm looking at biotechs to keep going today. It's one of the it's the leading industry for the healthcare sector today. And so I'm trying to stay in that, right? That doesn't make that this chart tells me, okay, if I went long biotech today and I reviewed my trading, would I be upset that I went long biotechs? Hell no. The industry was hot today.
GooG up at 4 here is a huge block of stock that they're taking. They took it. GooG. We've traded this one before, man. GooG, this is wild. That was a huge amount of stock at 4 that they took. Looks like they're refilling it now.
Meta going lower, TSM going lower. Oh, SMCI.
More size here at 206 on GooG.
Can't help myself. I want SMCI. So I'm going to go to Ryan's chart and go sit on my hands a little bit. Literally.
What's wrong, Mitch? What's wrong, Mitch?
I'm trying to control myself and not shorting SMCI, but that's because the truth is that I can't swing trade this. If I could swing trade this till tomorrow, I'd probably take SMCI. But I'd have to day trade it, and I don't feel like day trading it. I feel like swinging it, but then the earnings come tonight, and who knows what could happen, right? We'll see what happens there. That's why I'm not going to play the earnings. But literally, sometimes you got to sit on your hands, guys. Just got to sit on them.
I've done it. BTAI, Smoke Tuna, your calls today have been pretty awesome. Let's see what BTAI is doing. GUR looks like it is trying to go higher here. BTAI, this is just a curl back through the VWAP here. This really needs volume.
JPM back above VWAP, now starting to reject. Got up there to the 153.87, 153.90 level, 88. Not bad there on JPM. Could be coming right back down. So I could also look at an FAZ trade off of this, and I'm looking for like maybe a 17.25, maybe one more bottoming action on FAZ, and then coming right back up. We'll see what happens on that one. Regional banks coming back here. KRE actually above VWAP.
I was going to say, do you want to break down the Moody's downgrade? Because there's a lot of stocks that involve. So
yeah, I wish you should do that, Nick.
Yeah, all right.
Real quickly before you though, Jay Rice giving Mitch an idea here: sell some call spreads or buy some put spreads. Define your risk in SMCI. Mitch, it's actually really good.
The only way to go about it is that way. Jay, good mention. I mean, and you're right. That's the only way to go about it, is to use some options and use different kind of like a spread or something like that to limit your risk, right? That's the only way to do it. But the problem is there, Jay, and I haven't taken a look, so I might just be guessing here, is I'm guessing they're pretty expensive today because of the earnings premium put into the options. And so that's the hard part. How's the W trade going? I've taken first profits from 83.78. We can take a look right now. I'm just thinking about shorting this KRE right now with a pop towards 47.50s. So I'd like to see a pop into the 40s, quickly get hit, and then I could short the KRE right back down to 47s today. Doesn't look too bad there. We'll see what happens for like a healthcare bank trade here. Let's go to the Wayfair trade there. So it came right back to VWAP, and it's playing this game here right now, right? And I think that we need to keep in mind that it could always squeeze right back. Wayfair is a squeezy type of stock. So understand where you're out always. For me, I'm not going to let this get back towards my entry. My entry is above 83s. I'm at 83.78. I've already taken first profit. At this point, it's just let Wayfair work down. But a move back above 83 would definitely concern me for the squeezing action back up, based on the longer term chart, the hourly. And really my trade is a gap fill back down towards this level here, probably the 78.11s. And so if I can get back to 80s, 78, somewhere in between there, I'll take it all off. This isn't Wayfair down this, let's say 70 or 60. It's just to close the gap, take the money and run, and then see if the market wants to continue coming to the downside. Kicking it to you, Ryan. What you got out there, my friend?
Nothing. Just reading through the chat, kind of catching up here. Absolutely love our chat community.
We'll go to Nick Brown here, as he's going to go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the banking action.
I was going to say really quickly, Mitch, I didn't know this, and my friend, a good friend on FinTwit here, Mike Sicardi, pointed this out on Twitter. If Eli Lilly was in the Dow today, if it was a Dow Jones Industrial Average stock, it'd be adding about 500 points to the Dow right now. Just with Lilly's move, I thought it would be interesting to share that stat. All right, let's break down the banking story with Moody's, just because it is getting a lot of attention, and they did list and downgrade a lot of stocks. So the firm lowered the ratings of 10 banks by one rug, while major lenders like Bank of New York Mellon, U.S. Bancorp, State Street, Truist Financial, Collin or Frost Bankers, and Northern Trust, they're now under review for a potential downgrade. Moody's changed its outlook to negative for 11 banks, and that includes names known as Capital One, Citizens Financial, and Fifth Third Bancorp. Now, smaller lenders receiving the official downgrade were M&T Bank, Pinnacle Financial, BOK Financial, and Webster Financial. And Moody's points out in this release that they downgraded them, basically saying, quote, risks may be more pronounced if the U.S. enters a recession, which we expect will happen in early 2024 because asset quality will worsen. While according to Wall Street, we're seeing announced and a divergence of the recession calls. Bank of America and JP Morgan officially pulled recession off their table. But late last night, Marko Kolanovic of JP Morgan disagrees with his colleague, basically saying they see odds of a recession. So JP Morgan right there is an outlier, basically having a recession call being pulled, and then another colleague writing in another note saying that we see a recession happening. So what this downgrade is doing is really edging higher, is edging the market basically after Fitch downgraded the US credit rating, putting them on watch. And so now we're waiting for S&P Global to see if they come out with any downgrades or any news regarding the United States credit rating or any individual downgrades from any of these banks. It really isn't helping the banking sector today. I don't think one banking stock is higher. I think all of them are lower last time I checked. So this Moody's downgrade is very questionable why they're doing it now. I don't know, Ryan, if you agree with this downgrade, if you have any comments on this downgrade, just because they're downgrading now following Fitch. Not sure if this was timed and how this was timed, but not sure why they didn't do it maybe 3, 6, 12 months ago. Ryan, you're on mute.
Thank you. I think like about 6 months ago was when I was saying I was expecting things to go south, and the market just kept putting in highs. And I came on this show and told you guys, I don't know what's going on here. So to me, this is a late call. Why is it late? I have my own conspiracy theories and speculation, but that's not going to make us any money here. To me, it seems that the bank trade seems difficult. When we first started to have the first run on the banks and the ones that went down, by the way, MF, amazing call here, Smoke Tuna. MF about to go right through this 230 spot. They keep refilling it, by the way. I took a little bit here, so we'll see. When we first had some of the bad news with the banks, one of the things I said is that this is not going to be over soon. And I tried to draw comparisons to Bears Stearns and Lehman Brothers and how many months apart those were before things really went down. So to me, like this call seems late. My comment is where you been? Where you been at? Banks have not been a good trade for a while. Still watching this MF right here with Smoke Tuna.
All right, guys, just got short some JPM, and I want to do an outline on a trade there. So I'm going to reshare here my screen here. I just shorted JPM there based off of what we've been talking about also. And so here's the trade, and you guys can use the path outline on Benzinga Pro to do something very similar to this. So I drew out what I call the fake out fade. And so the fake out fade is, you see that light blue line, that's your VWAP. Now this is the action that I'm seeing. And of course, you guys know how I talk about the rule of three plenty of times. And now we're starting to see that rule of three coming into play. You see the first resistance right over here, then a pull back, another resistance. Now I've been looking for this stock to go right to this 154 and reject there. And so that's why I started getting short right here. And now I want to see it come back here and actually take out the down line on VWAP, take out the support, bounce and use around like 153.60s, 153.50s as resistance, and come right back towards the 153. We'll see what happens there as markets are trying to come back here. We'll keep an eye out on the SPY. It's still pretty low. The Qs are still pretty low and still pretty weak. Be careful with quick moves to the upside. That would definitely get some bullish moves coming back there towards the VWAP. But taking my shot there. VKTX got stopped out there at the 1371 for a really tiny loss, and that's what I wanted to do, which take a little tiny loss there. So tiny loss set up that trade on VKTX, where if it would have gone to 14.15, it would have been like a 8-1, 9-1 outlook. I'll take that anytime. It's all good on VKTX, not going through that level. And that's what trading's all about. Could have got stop hunted at the 1371, but I don't mind that. I'll just keep moving on VKTX.
13 here. Welcome. Good to see you again. 13, one of the regulars in our happy hour, saying, remember that Lehman Brothers didn't collapse until 6 months after Bear Stearns. Moody's just trying to keep history consistent. That's what I'm saying. And 13, back me up here. Haven't we been talking about the bank trade being weak for a long time? Saying that there was probably more choppy seas ahead for the banks and probably not the best long option. You can back me up. You've been in those happy hours.
Just added to the JPM short there a little bit. Have 153.86 now. And so I have one more ad that I can do, and I already have it out sitting there. It's towards 154.07. like a slight tick above 154. We'll see if it does get to that level. And now I'm going to really start looking for this trend line to really break here. And you guys can see this trend line. I'm going to show you that right now. I don't know why I hit new calendar, but let's keep going. So now I just want to see this kind of trend line break. So this is that trend line that needs to break to show that downside action coming in. We'll look to see if it actually starts to break that. So now I got the trade drawn out. And I think for traders that are new, one of the good things for traders to do, and I think it's important, especially if you're a brand new trader, right? And you don't understand things, is understand where's your in, where's your out, how are you going to trade things, draw it out for yourself. If you can do that, that's going to help you out. Just determine the trade beforehand. The more objective you can be in your trading, you're going to be higher on what? On execution, right? And so I think that's an important thing to do. Figure things out. Anyone in drug says wisdom? And Ryan, I think we're getting questions about happy hour.
Yeah, Savant was saying, what is happy hour? Happy hour is a show for Benzinga Pro subscribers only. Sorry, folks. It is, we talk about the market, we talk about trade setups, we talk about ideas, we talk about different news and what does it mean, and we try to break things down. It is a communal discussion that revolves around the participants of those that show up. So it's not me saying a whole bunch of stuff. Of course I participate, but it mainly is derived from the people that show up. For example, 13 does charting on the SPY pretty much every day and also has another topic to discuss almost every day. So it's a really cool hangout where we kind of just talk about the market. I'm still watching MF here. This is bouncing. This might try this 230 again. GRRR came back in. That actually might bounce too. I'm still watching MF. Let's see what happens at this 230 spot if we get back up there. My price is 224, right where it's at. We shall see. MF needs volume, though. That's the problem. Needs volume. Costco pounding the lows today. See if I can get disciplined enough to buy some of that when it really trades down. Every time it does, I never take it. Man, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk up huge. Huge today.
Are you shopping at Costco, Ryan?
I mean, yeah, I do a weekly Costco trip, Nick. It is the best store. It is my favorite brick and mortar store. Between Costco and Amazon, I don't really need to go anywhere else. I guess PGA Superstore or Dick's, but other than that.
We know Mitch gets a package every day from Amazon, so he doesn't even have to leave his house.
Yep.
Mitch, your neighbors are probably thinking like, oh, here comes the Amazon truck. We wonder who they're for.
Well, got the fills fully in on this JPM short, 153.93s fully in there, looking for the downside action. And Chapow, there we go. We're getting it. Let's go. And take the kids away, guys. Let's go, JPM. Let's get it.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
All right, now let's see what happens. JPM coming through that cut down right back below VWAP. Now I want to see this start to kind of really start getting hit here. Go to like 153.50s, then start using 153.60s as resistance and make that 153 downside action move. We'll see what happens there as I'm taking some shots here on the downside. I still got Wayfair. Going to look for that to reject one more times towards the 82.50s, come back towards the 81s if they want to start getting hit with it.
What's your thought whenever James Gorman from Morgan Stanley steps down this year and they get a new CEO? Do you think that's going to be a positive catalyst for the bank?
I mean, to tell you
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That doesn't necessarily mean much, right? Because unless it's like let's say like you're getting someone from Goldman Sachs to go to like a regional bank, that's a little bit different, right? Like now you're getting somebody like that was really well known going towards a unknown. But if it's well known going to well known, or somebody just joining in, I think you gotta first see how that reacts. It's not Bob Iger coming back, right? So like I would put that example as a different one, right? For Disney, that actually gave them the lift, but new CEOs are usually short-lived pops. Let's just say that much. I don't think there's much edge there. Like it's maybe like a 1% lift. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, but that's not enough for me to maybe chase that catalyst, right? And so that's what I would be thinking about. And I'm wondering, do they really come after the banks today? I think we'll know by the end of the day. There we go. What happened there, guys? Look at this, guys. Look at that. Look at that acting as resistance right there.
There you go.
Boom. It's playing out to a key. Like if I like just put it on the putter and was just like, let's go. Tap.
Just tap it in.
Just tap it in, baby. You see the wind? You see the ground? Now it's just time to play the play.
MF might be in trouble here. It looks like this is going to kind of go back to its VWAP.
Ooh, let's go, JPM. I'll come and bring you up, man.
Yeah, rough time in here. I like this setup, Smoke Tuna, but it did not go. It's losing its steam here. All selling volume.
All right, now another important stock for me, of course, is going to be what? It's going to be XOM. So I'll show you guys that right now. I've talked about this since before the market opened. What did I want to see? I want to see XOM do a downside 1 hour candle and get back there towards the 106 on the next candle. Exactly what we're doing. So that's looking well, right? So now at this point, it's like, let's see if this can start making a move back up. If this comes back to 105, that's when we got to be concerned, because that could be a turnaround in oil. And if I take a little peek at today at WTI, and I'll do that right now, I see it at 81. 82 is the big resistance. We need to start making the way towards 83s and 84s if we're going to continue to see this oil run. And on the day's range, we've gotten to 82.54. Look to see if we take that out to 83 on WTI. And that's the front month, of course. Lucid, man. Come on, guys. Oh, man. And that's like Nikola. They finally started coming right back, right? I mean, was Nikola really going to come right back up, right? I could see this right back down below $1. Nikola! Carvana looking a little bit weak here. We'll see if Upstart keeps getting weak. Man, Upstart's been a complete disaster as of late. I mean, we were looking at this at 70s. It went down to 50s already. It's been down about 30% since last week. Wisdom says Mitch halfway becoming a golfer.
He said, we'll get him there. We'll get him there, Wisdom. We'll keep working on him.
There's only one way, man. I'll tell you one thing. Time's not on my side for these rougher sports. Eventually, I'll probably shift over to some golf action.
Baseball players generally love it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the really good ones are pretty good at it, right? Like Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, some of the best.
They asked Mike Trout, what sport do you want your son to play? He goes, honestly, I hope he plays golf. So he
honestly,
can play with them all the time.
Those two could probably play, and maybe I'm being a little judgmental, but I think those two could actually probably play in the PGA if they really worked hard at it. They're really good. Mookie's really good. Have you ever seen Mookie play, Ryan?
No, just Steph. But I mean, Steph has 2 hole-in-ones, so.
Dude, check him out, man. He's nasty. I've seen him play with PGA players, and I'm like, damn, he looks like he could literally at least compete with them, right? And if you could compete with that level of golfer, I mean, holy crap.
Market really pounding the lows here. Market looking to go lower here.
All right.
That was already down, Ryan. 450.
Show us that. And also maybe let's start taking a look at maybe the movers tab. I don't know if you have a good movers tab set up for us, and maybe look at what's getting hit the most.
Yeah,
but that's also one of the things that I always love doing.
So let's do that. We can always take a look at losers here. Remember, do have some volume filters on here. What's getting hit the most here are going to be some of these smaller cap stocks, right? VTGN, this one just Really, 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 really awful. Beyond Meat, not doing well. There was a report here that one of the reasons Beyond Meat is not doing well is because people are understanding that this is a lot of processed food, and processed stuff isn't good for you. So it's one thing to be vegan, it's another thing to have a bunch of processed ingredients in it. Apparently Beyond Meat is going to come out with an ad campaign. We'll see how that actually affects Beyond Meat. This was all stuff I was hearing this morning on Beyond Meat, but market not really liking it here. Really, really rough day. And
I
then
was
of
going to
course
say they reported
Datadog.
earnings yesterday, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, sorry. Hang on. Let me finish off Datadog, because Mitch was saying what's dragging stuff down. Datadog, one of your biggest losers here today. Now going back to Beyond Meat here, it was after hours yesterday, right?
Yes.
Beyond Meat, yeah. But what I'm saying is this morning I heard stuff about the ad campaign that they're planning to start to try and convince people that it's healthy.
I was going to say Datadog, they reported earnings yesterday or this morning, one of them too.
JPM looking great here for me, guys. Already down towards that 153, hit 153.04. Now I'm going to look to see if we bounce. It's okay to hit like around 153.30s. I don't want to see it back through 153.50s, and looking for the 153 takeout on JPM today. And the trade is looking perfectly drawn here. So look at that trade right there, guys. That's as good as I could get it sometimes, guys. And honestly, it's not going to happen like this all the time. And I think one of the things to do, though, is for you newer traders, this helps you a lot. Stay in a trade like JPM, right? Because a lot of times we get itchy towards the green, and it should be the opposite. We should get itchy to cut losers small and let these winners sometimes get that expansion. We'll see if I can get that expansion today. Kicking it back to you, Ryan.
I was going to say, cut the loser small. I really kind of screwed up here. We were talking about too many things. I wasn't paying attention. I really kind of let MF come back in too much here. I'll wait and see if we bounce off the VWAP, but this is shaping up to be kind of a nasty loss here. Maybe not nasty, but more than I wanted. Jay's question, who's the only football player to win on the senior tour? I believe that is John Brody from the 49ers.
All right, guys. Financial services, the leading sector to the downside from the open. Technology leading to the second sector leading to the downside, and then basic materials. Industrials right behind that, and then defensives down big too. They are going after everything, it seems like, in this market right now to the downside. So just be careful. Very rare days will you ever see the market down big, but defensives also getting smacked. That's when we got to start being careful here, team. I'm seeing a lot of profit taking right now,
guys,
and they don't want to rotate to defensive names. What do you got,
quick,
Ryan?
Sorry to interrupt, Mitch. Matt calling out PSQH here. PSQH, rumors of Tucker Carlson seeing or working with PSQH in some form. I'm not sure how PSQH Holdings fits into this. Sorry, but it looks like we're getting some Tucker Carlson news here regarding PSQH. That's causing this to pop pretty significantly. You can see this is where that volume came in. I wouldn't chase this up here. I was a little bit late to this, but this one going here, just so you understand what the catalyst is here driving. PSQH could go higher off this news.
Invincible.
1150s on PSQH just printed right there.
Yeah, CPI, PPI, we could see up day Friday, or really bad downside. I think you're going to see a tick to the upside on inflation. There's Wayfair back down because of oil prices.
Who's been saying that all along right here on live trading?
She knows it. Your boy, Nick Brown. Let it go. Donkey Kong. He's stepping up to the plate. You know him.
We've been hitting the table on this for the past few weeks. But, my concern is 2%. Is the 3% the new 2% if the Fed can't get inflation down?
They will get it down there, Nick. They'll hold it. They'll do whatever it takes, man. That's where I feel like people just got it wrong. They said that we would never even get close to 2% in a year. And look where we're at. Essentially closer, right? I mean, way closer than most expected. So what I would say is expect the extreme from the Fed. What does the Fed do? They play the extreme game. That's what they do. They play to one side of the cedar top, right? They either go supportive and they lean this way, or they go restrictive and they lean this way.
You don't
And
think
they
they're going to
go
play both?
No, they go all the way to the other side. That's from what I've seen in my, at least, like watching of financial, especially the Fed. They love to go to the complete opposite side first. Why? Because that leaves you a bunch of ammo to work backwards, right? If you go to extremely restrictive, you can work back to extremely supportive environment, right? And so you have to give yourself what? Ammo to come back.
Real quick, Amazon 13 saying, wake Ken up. I'm not waking Ken up. You can do that if you want, but I ain't doing that. Possible trade here. This is another trade that we discussed in the happy hour. We'll share it with you here today. Amazon potential gap fill on the way back down, right? So we had this floating island here. If Amazon loses this, perhaps we kind of make a move back down and try to fill this gap. We got a good 10 points here worth of move if we do, in fact, fill that gap. So something to consider if you're looking to swing. I'm not in this trade, but this one on deck here. This is shaping up.
All right, keep an eye on JPM here and seeing if we can start to make this downside action move here. Not looking too bad overall. Looking for JPM to reject here the 153.30s area and then come right back down. It's kind of going sideways here on the 1 minute and trying to build the move. We'll see if it starts to make a comeback in the overall market. Qs are trying to come back a little bit. So is the SPY, but they're weak down towards the bottom, and the SPY hasn't come back to the VWAP since 941. It's pretty weak so far. Paul C says, but they take too long and they always go too far. I agree. That's just what I've seen in my understanding of like history from the Fed. They love going extremes.
Look at Tilray. I'm not in this. Tilray, nice move here today. I'm trapped in this MF. I'm not going to get out of this. Stock MF.
Mitch, got any sleepy tickers that might awaken this week? Yeah, we can take a look. What I would take a look at is, of course, on the earnings calendar and, of course, looking towards the week, what could wake up, right? And I think that we just start looking on the charts to see what type of stocks would make sense in this environment when we're starting to see growth go away and what could actually get the lift. So just be careful out there with these names, because some of these names, like let's say like Roblox, on a good environment, that seems to make sense. It's actually up today. If you guys take a look, Roblox is up. It's at 37.64. But is this a stock that I want going into the earnings report? No. And that's where it gets a little bit scary, right? It's going to be right back down to 35s and 30s. And that's going to really crush certain stocks. What I'd be looking for is what stock will actually show you that they're actually making gains on AI versus just talking about AI. We talked about this plenty of times yesterday. Would Palantir show me the money, right? Nick knows I've been calling it. They did not show the money. What did Palantir say on their earnings call? Well, specifically was stated was, we will figure out how to monetize it. And this came from the CEO. And they were talking about Palantir's artificial intelligence platform, AIP. What does that tell me? That you're not monetizing it right now, that it exists, the product exists, but it's really not making moves. I'll go to Palantir so you guys can see that chart. I just didn't want to lose the JPM chart, but no worries. We can just keep moving here. Palantir, we'll see what happens on that one. Coming down here out the open, down to 1660s. And I think this is going to keep coming right back down. So we'll see what happens on that one. Got to get my thing adjusted. For some reason, it's getting off auto. But we'll see if this can come all the way back down to 16, 15, 14s. I think 20 is your super resistance, and that comes back towards where 20 was, where the support, long-term support was, back when it cut down and started to go down in the bear market. That's acting as extreme support, as extreme resistance right now.
Palantir 13 saying, let's be honest, Tilray mentioned AI, didn't they? No, they didn't. But maybe that's coming up. That would explain the move here today. Tilray having a monster day here today.
This is where I say, just keep looking for the actual revenue.
I was going to say, guys, there are so many market stats this morning that were very interesting. The SPDR, the S&P 500, or the S&P Regional Banking ETF, KRE, having its worst day since May 4th. You have the SMH, which is the VanEck Semiconductor ETF, the first peak below 50 days since May. You have the SIBO Volatility Index, highest since May 31st. Watch for Apple. There's Bloomberg is reporting that if Apple closes down today, I believe for the 6th straight day, it would be its worst day, worst sell-off since this year for January 2023. There are so many market stats today with the market sell-off. Oh, and believe it or not, if the NASDAQ closes down more than 2.5%, it will be its worst day since for the year 2023. I'm going to try and keep a tab on this, and we'll update throughout the day on Twitter to see how many stats we go through today.
All right. MF broke here. I am totally trapped, guys. Smoke Tuna, I hope you got out of this because boy, oh boy, I traded this poorly. Every time I've looked away, it's taken the leg down. It's like it's literally waiting for me to look away from my computer screen. Down pretty healthily in this. My buy price is 224. This thing definitely, I mean, God, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. I don't think we're going to get a pop either. It is all selling volume. We'll see. Let you know when I'm out of this. This is definitely going to be a red trade, though. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I see grocery stores down overall today, and we got to be careful when we play those types of. One thing that I say today that can give us a little bit of realizations right off the hop. Remember, healthcare has been the only sector in the green from the open this whole time. So we got to be careful on days like that, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a weekday.
You know what I mean? It's a weekday. And if we're trying to look for upside momentum on a weekday, that's where we can get caught a lot of the times, right? And that's why I'm trying to call out warning flags on stocks like Upstart, like Carvana, like Affirm. I don't like these names now. These are the easy names that trap you on upside action, and then you get smoked. So just be careful out there, team. We'll see what happens. Don't want to see people get really kind of wrecked, especially on momentum names. So just putting out my warning flag out there. Still looking to see if JPM can break this 153. It's just been going sideways now for like 15 minutes. So let's go to the 15-minute chart and start seeing that kind of action here to see if it's going to start being able to break down that or not. So keeping a watch on JPM right now. Trying to get the 15-minute chart up here. Just give me a second here. Having some issues on my charting. All right. Well, I guess we're sticking to the 1 minute. We'll see if it breaks the 153 here on the downside. All right. Well, I get it. I'm looking for that flush down through so I can start taking some profits on JPM. Once we start breaking 153s, I think we can expand towards like 152.50s. And then I'm going to look to take some profit as we're into that 152 area. We'll see what happens here. It's been a good trade for me on JPM. And I feel like I read it really well on that 154 peak and then coming right back down. VIX up 12%. That will help. Market continuing to show more kind of uncertainty, I will say. I don't think this is necessarily that bears have control, but definitely things have flipped. And like Crow said, right, that's all we can do as traders, right? Help each other flag it, right? And that's what I call it. I call it flag it.
That's what we try to do here. Remember, when everyone was getting bullish a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting here saying, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to wait this out. I'll be okay being wrong. And look at it today.
And that's how it is, right?
How quick things can change in this game.
Yeah. And sometimes you're going to be a little bit early. And that happens to me all the time, right?
All the time.
The hardest thing to do is when you're early is be patient. Right. And so that's one thing that I would always look at and try to find things that can help you be patient, like indicators, things like that. So one thing that I was talking about on the SPY for a long time here was when were we going to break kind of like the 9 EMA outlook. And a lot of the times that's one thing that I look for on the SPY. I'll show you guys that a little bit more with my other charting here as I bring it up. Just give me a second. We'll see if we get that downside action JPM or not. But SPY right now, kind of weak still. And look how the 9 EMA was acting as support for so long. But once this starts to act as resistance, like we've been seeing it in the last couple of days, that's when you got to be careful. And this could just be a correction, right? Where it corrects to a certain level and then works its way back up. Do I feel like the SPY is completely broken here? No, not until it breaks the 50 moving average would I be a little bit more concerned for, like, you know, a move back down to 420s or 410s, right? So for right now, it's just a pullback. And I'm looking for about what, like a 10% correction. Right now, we're only at like 3% correction from the top. We could be coming down there towards a 5% correction or 4%, which is down to the 440s. And then 5% is closer, 10%, it would be down there, all the way down there towards like the 410s. So we'll see what we get here. What type of correction are we going to get? That's what I'd be looking for.
MNK might pop 198 here. MNK. Bring it up. I'm in from 193. There goes 198. Let's see if it pops 2 here. There we go. Need something here after this MF, man. See if we can go through 2 here. For MNK, we're going to not let this trade go red. Here we go.
JPM going for that 153 break. It's at 153 right now. Let's see if I can get it. Let's go, JPM. Get that flush to the downside. I'm feeling a little evil today to the downside. What can I say? Fire in the hole. Let's get it. I'm going for it, man.
Yeah, I think I went for it today, probably too much. Just I'm upset with this MF trade. I should have cut it so early, and I just didn't. And I just looked away, and it got worse and worse. Just, oh man, that's a frustrating one.
It's all good, man. It's
all good.
Another one in the learning lesson book, right? And I think that, like, we always got to just try to figure out what is the things that we need to be learning. And I always ask myself one thing when I feel like, is this an execution thing or a process thing? 2 different things, really.
Yeah, to me, this was just execution. I executed poorly. That's what happened.
Your process would have saved you, right, Ryan? And I think that that's what we got to be thinking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's going on, Mitch, is that just because the market doesn't make a lot of sense, which I have been consistent on for a long time, I'm trying to keep position size lowered, things like that, but I'm not making as much money as I'd like to make. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to let some of the positions run a little bit more, and that's not working either. It's, you know, it's getting crushed. So I don't want to sell too early, but yeah, no, I mean, it was just execution. It was just execution. And I really want to cut MF here because I just don't. I feel like this is going to keep getting worse. Volume telling the story. This looks bad.
Well, I'll move on to Wayfair here. Wayfair is starting to come down. Market's coming down.
Yeah, I'm cutting MF and taking the loss, guys.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, and we all get caught sometimes. So it's all good. Just the key is learning from it, right? Like I say, ask yourself the question: is it execution or process? That's one of the best questions I like to see, especially when I made a mistake, right? Where was the mistake made? I think that that's one thing that we can actually build from, which is important, right? How can we build from this? Let's figure it out. All right, Wayfair going lower, looking for the cut through the 81s. That's looking great for me. Rejection right back from the 8250s. JPM now towards 152.80s, 152.70s. About to take about half of the position off here as we keep going lower, looking for lower 70s here. I'm actually going to put something out in the 60s here. If we can just get another little cut down through, I will take majority of it off here and look for a really nice win here on JPM. Come on, just a little bit more. Might have to cancel that one and step up. But here, 70s, 77s for another little cut down here into the 60s, and then I'll get out. Come on, JPM.
Still in MNK here. Stopped out just as we were talking there. I'm not going to let trades go. So we just talked about process, and I wasn't going to let my execution fail me in the MNK trade. So I actually put my stop out there. Stopped out. Hardly made anything on it, but at least I didn't take a loss.
All right, guys, 152.70s here on JPM. Looking for another little tick here. Boom, there we go. Come on, get me, Phil. I didn't get it yet. Oh, might have to modify here. All right, there we go. Got some out there. 152.67. Let's go. What a nice little trade there on JPM from 153.93s. Now down towards the 60s. And I'm in what? Position of strength. This is when I really like to be in. So now what does this do? This turns into a swing trade, break even on the rest, taking majority of the gains out here, half of the position out. Now I'm to just let this trade work here. So 153.93s can set a stop right there and just stop even watching this trade. That's how I make the big winners, guys. I'll tell you that is I get to a point where I'm just like, okay, at this point, stop watching, Mitch. Things can go in your favor and keep working down all day long. So I'm going to set a stop there and just keep working it. Wayfair is going lower now. Wayfair through 81s, I could take a little bit more. As I'm working Wayfair down and I'm not looking for a huge hit on this. I'm looking for a move back towards 80s and 79s and 78s. So somewhere in between the next break through that 81, I'll look for a move towards like 80 50s, 80 40s, and then start just piecing out on Wayfair. JPM, not a bad one. All right, let's keep going. What else is being mentioned in the chat? You got to trade those big caps. Hey,
GooG and MNK might be coming back on.
I always say it's trade what you like, trade what you know.
Always trade what you know. Stick to that.
Yeah, trade what works for you too. Look at your data. There's a reason why I don't trade these smaller names. You guys will see me take a shot on them every now and then, but other than that, I personally try to stick to a little bit of the higher names, and that's just because I go for a little bit of a different strategy, very low share size and looking for bigger moves. That's just the way I go about it. To do what? Mainly is protection of capital, right? Because that's why I think I won't make as much as some people that trade, let's say, some of these smaller names that, give you 100% lift in one day. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm trying to get more consistent gains. But it's more about what you guys find works for you, right? If you can find consistent gains in those smaller names and penny stocks or cheaper names, then hey, power to you, right? I always say it. There's no right or wrong way. It's more about what's your data saying and how are you able to trade that. So personality and data, those are the two things that will tell you where your strategy should lie.
GooG rejected there is trying to go.
Alyssa out in the chat. What's up out there, Alyssa?
What's up, Alyssa?
It's good to see you out there. X or
13.
13, right? I don't know why I wanted to say X13, but hey.
All
right.
It starts with an X.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just had to say it. AMC looking to break out a consolidation on volume. We were looking at that yesterday. Remember, guys, I was watching that off of that 505 level, and it wasn't a bad level. It did go up, but I mean, how much did it give you? Is it really something that I want to come after? Nah, man. I'm leaving that alone today. Ron bringing up an interesting one. Dell. Dell's actually making a pretty good move here. What the hell's going on in Dell today? I'm going to have to kick that one to my man, Nick. Find out, man, because I don't know.
I have a Dell computer. Maybe it's just because I bought one and everybody wants one. I don't know.
Everybody wants one, you said?
Yeah, maybe. I prefer Dell over HP computers.
Oh, the call out. I just built them, man. Come on, Ryan. We got to teach him.
I was going to say, man, I have like, my big thing is I don't want to come off as an elitist snob. I have not bought a computer since 2005, maybe I
Yeah.
build them. I've been building them since I'm 14 years old, because
Yeah, me
GooG's
too.
going, by the way, here, because you can get so much more bang for your buck. You get to choose the components that you want. I mean, there's just so many upsides to it.
I agree with you, man. And it's something that I definitely look forward to. And I'm already looking forward to building my next one. I'm getting to
I was
the
going to
point
say
where,
regarding Dell, there was a news alert this morning at 9:13.
aha,
Pro Rackspace Tech ticker RXT launches a hosted private cloud generative AI solution architecture powered by Dell Technologies and NVIDIA AI.
all right. Well, you mentioned NVIDIA, and I think they'll help you. We saw how it helped Intel, right? I'm looking around in the market. I'm starting to see a little bit of some move back towards the VWAP. So we could get some reversion to the mean here. So just be careful out there as you're seeing stocks come back. And so now I got to think about JPM. Do I just want to take it all off? Just do the day trade off the 153, or just let it work? On JPM, I'm going to let it continue to work. Wayfair, I'm looking more and more to maybe just taking profits, because we could start seeing these Qs come back here, as the Qs like to start propping here around the 370.50 spot. Let's see if it goes to 371, at least VWAP on the way back up.
Mitch, Alyssa is commenting on how nice my shirt is. Might we have some news for the viewers here?
Yes. I'll be bringing that to you guys right now. Let me just get the image ready. I just want to get you guys that image ready so you guys can see what we are talking about here. All right, let me grab that for you guys. Grabbing that right now.
Looks like we're going to be giving some BZ swag away here, Mitch. I hate to take it. I hate to spoil it for you here. GooG might pop through the 224, by the way, while we're doing this. Just keep it on.
All right, so I'm going to throw this in the chat so that everybody can get to it, right? And so I'm throwing up here. We're doing Benzinga's a weekly giveaway extravaganza. Don't miss it, guys. Enter for your chance to win some Benzinga swag. Who's got some swag? I know I'm rocking some swag right now. I know my man Ryan's rocking some swag right now. So, hey, not looking too bad.
The black Benzinga Detroit shirt, this is literally one of the best shirts. It is super, super soft. It's black, which is obviously awesome. And it's just simple and clean. It's literally one of the best. Oh, I hate producing. Okay.
No worries. I got you here. And I'll show
Paul
you guys
says
exactly.
the link is broken. Really? There's no way.
I'll throw it up again.
On.
I'll throw it up again. No worries. I'll throw up another link here for you guys. Direct link here. So.
No, it is. I tried it.
The link is broken. Guys.
Is this one broken? Check this one out. You guys let me know on that one.
No, that one works. The one that you just put in the chat.
You guys know Money Mitch will figure it out. I got you guys. Come on. There you guys have it. Get after that giveaway. Get some swag. Get your Benzinga swag. I even know Nick Brown's entering in it right now. That's why he was clicking on it. New link works. I got you guys. Come on, man. Let's do it.
All right. There you go. Just a typo.
Know me. Mitch went running to that. He was like, I got this.
So I have all that swag, by the way. I have the shirt. I'm wearing it. I have the sticker. It's on one of my older monitors here. And I have that coffee cup and a different Benzinga Pro coffee cup. So
I need some more coffee cups from Benzinga. That's what
I have 2 of the 3 on the screen. I have the coffee cup and the t-shirt, but I don't know where the t-shirt's at. And yes, I'm admitting that publicly live on the air.
Does the mug come with coffee too? I don't know, Crow. If you come by my house, I'll fill it up for you. How's that? All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else is going on there. And thanks, Alyssa, like always, for giving us a nice little update on that giveaway. And yeah, you guys check it out, guys. Go ahead and hit it up. There's multiple ways to get multiple entries also. So you guys can visit Benzinga on Facebook, visit Benzinga on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Get access to Benzinga's Insider Weekly reports. Get you 2 entries in the giveaways. Answer a question. Complete all 7 ways to receive 7 more entries. So check it out, guys. Just click the link. It'll explain everything for you guys. And like always, we're here to give you guys some swag too. So hit that like button. Let's keep going right here, of course, on Benzinga.
I was going to say, I didn't think it was this. Jay, I was just going to ask you for Proterra. I was just going to ask you, wasn't this the one that Granholm was on? Help me out, Jay. Wasn't this Jay was saying this is another Biden-backed EV firm that is filing Chapter 11? But I could have sworn PTR. Maybe I'm mixing this up with a different company. But the Granholm, what is it? Jennifer Granholm, is that her name?
I believe so. Yes, Jennifer Granholm,
the energy secretary. Wasn't this her? Wasn't this her company?
I'm not sure.
Was she involved in this one? Yeah. Oh, okay. So she sold her stock a long time ago for $1.6 million. Okay. Cool.
All right, team.
Man.
Let's keep it going here. Let's see what else we got on.
That was a box job, wasn't it, Jay?
1048. Likes are low, man. Come on, get them up. Let's go.
Get them up.
Get them up. Get them up. Get them up.
Summer. By the way, GooG coming back into the VWAP here, so maybe this kind of holds.
All right, guys. Wayfair looking great now, trying to come back down towards the 8150s. Going to look for the 81 cut down through that, and going to start looking to see a lot of these kind of stocks give up. I'd look for Carvana to come right back down. I'd look for a lot of these stocks to really continue to get hit there. ARKK starting to pull back there. Tesla's actually in the green. That's a little bit interesting. That is up there towards 250s, getting a little bit of a bounce back today. How's Apple doing? Apple rejecting the VWAP. Amazon yesterday was looking for the short, was looking for the short. It didn't work out yesterday, but man, today is right back down. It's trying to cut through the gap into the gap zone. We'll see what happens on Amazon. Will it get into this gap zone and start to work back there towards the 135s? That could drag us down, right? And so you can see the SPY. It's not looking pretty right now. We'll see if it starts to catch a little bit of a bounce. But did we break out of the rectangle? Oh, hell yeah, we did. But not the direction probably the bulls were expecting, as it starts to come down to 370s today as the Qs break down and out of this rectangle and to the downside. And then I always want to start reviewing my swing trading a little bit here to kind of give you guys a little bit of a hand up of how I try to go about and look and review my trading. Am I trading on the right direction? I always want to be trading with the trend. A lot of the times trading against the trend is how I get caught and destroyed in swing trading. So I want to be with the trends, with the rotations. Right now, if I take a look, Q's going down, and what do I have? All right, well, I have short on Wayfair, a tech stock. I have oil to go higher. Energy is back into the green today. So usually when stocks go down, a lot of times we start getting energy to go up. Then JPM, I take a look at that and I see financials leading to the downside today, and I'm short a bank. If I review my swing trading action, I'm in the right sectors and industries today. That gives me a thumbs up, pat on the back, and I keep going. That's a processed approach, and I want to keep going that. Pinkies up. You know it, wisdom. You know it, baby. Money. All right, what else we got going on here, team? We'll see if the market just continues to drag, but it's been a drag today. Will the KRE keep going lower? Did get a little bit of a bounce as it came back to 47. So another opportunity here off the 47.50 area to get short even KRE. Doesn't look too bad there for me. Did Moody just make the market moody? It seems like it as of late.
Mitch, can you Slack me the working link for the giveaway?
Got you, my friend.
Thank you. GRR coming back in towards that VWAP.
Boom, boom. Yeah, Amazon going into the gap zone. Yeah, that's what I see, Jan. That's what I was trying to short yesterday. Mitch giving out bags of Bustelo. I mean, it's cheap enough for me to maybe give out bags, so I wouldn't be mad. Put it this way. I need to go to the office and just give everyone. I'm going to leave some K cups of Bustelo. I'm going to make some Bustelo fans out there. It's cheap, too. I mean, cheap, good coffee. You don't get that. You want good coffee. Normally, you got to pay up. All right, looking around, and everything just doesn't look bueno. It looks just like a bunch of dragging to the downside today. Maybe Tesla's not looking too bad, but not looking good in the market today, especially the leadership. Leadership is just getting wrecked. If it wasn't for Lilly being up 4.6%, I think we'd be down even more, man. Like that's holding us up, but there's a lot of stocks in the red today. Oof. Costco turned around. Be careful on Walmart and that type of trade. That trade could be just starting to break after having some good run, right? I'm seeing Walmart start to push back. We've seen what? And then look at this all the time, guys. 1 run to resistance. 2 runs to resistance. The stock runs a 3rd time and then tries to rebuild and go for that 4th break. If I see stocks reverse hard from 4th attempts to break out, that's where I start looking to see stocks reverse, come right back to support, and start going into correction phase, which would be a move back towards like the 155s. So Walmart actually looks like a short for me now. We'll see what happens. The Dutch Bros. That's the reason why I didn't touch it, man. I could squeeze, but I ain't touching it until comparable sales change. And look what happened. I could have easily bought this at the 30s because it looked like it was going to turn around. It's right back down to 27.
By the way,
don't touch it.
GRRR GUR at a potential bounce spot here. We'll see if that goes on GUR. Really needs to have some of this buying volume pour in. But right near its VWAP here might bounce right here. Last time it did this, look what it did. We actually bounced, what, 15 cents. So we'll see if we can do that here on GUR. Nope, it's going lower. Careful on GUR.
There you go, Walter.
GUR, wow, big breakdown. Okay. Nope. Be careful today, guys. There's a lot of weakness out there. A lot of weakness. And normally down markets show us relative strength for some of these smaller plays. Smaller plays are weak too. So be very, very careful.
Yeah, look how IWM has been turned around from the 197, 198 resistance, which is hard resistance now, guys. So IWM turning around is not a good look there with the small caps. And you guys can see here, look at this resistance. We ran right into it, and now we do not want to go back up there. So I would definitely keep watch as IWM starts to come right back down. And that could also start meaning that the overall market is pulling back here, as we are starting to see a lot more weakness come into the market today. Where can the Qs stop today? I think maybe 367s, but you never know really where this is going to turn around. The only thing you can do is call the next support levels. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you
on
like
that.
Twilio for lower, Jay? I kind of like Twilio for lower, to be honest. I've already really kind of sold off. Look at this though. I feel like I'm late to this one.
Yeah, nice little 4th rejection on that one too. Recently tried to go back through the 68s, going to 69s and failed there. That's where I saw that rejection. Now it's back to support and actually using the support as resistance around 6160, 6170. So around the 61, 62 levels is acting as resistance now on Twilio. At least that's what I can see.
I don't want to buy some puts on this.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. You just got to see how much they've already gone towards the favor,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
we're already up quite a bit here today.
Yeah, that's the hard part, right? When you're going to go and then you're going to go get them. A lot of times you want to get them on the day that it was bullish, like yesterday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
These were probably really cheap yesterday, but but today they're like already up.
So the one I'm looking at while we're talking about this, Mitch, and I'm sorry I don't have.
No, I like this. I like this stuff, Ryan, because to tell you the truth, this is why I probably don't trade options. But let's learn more about what does it show up here.
So on the $50 put for September, so the September 50 contract, the put today has a current ask of $1.93. It is up 74 cents from yesterday. So you're right, Mitch. The buy here was around a 120 for that 50 put, and that happened yesterday. Now we get the earnings tonight. This is already up 65%. If you get continued momentum, this is going to be a huge winner to the downside. If Twilio misses, but the buy was yesterday. This definitely feels like a chase here.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with doing it there, but you have to understand that, right? And so for me now, it would become what? The only thing that I could do, Ryan, on a trade like that would be to day trade it, not to swing.
Yeah,
it
right.
Not
to hold it for the binary.
Exactly. And we know it, Ryan. We ain't no young bloods in this game.
Nope, not
We've seen
anymore.
it. We've seen it, man. And I think that's one thing that I think Ryan and I definitely do. And so it's just always understanding your timing is so important. Like timing yesterday, oh, you're a beast. Timing it today, you're
feeling a little late, yeah.
Yeah, a little late to the party. Doesn't mean you can't make money, but it also means that it could come back and stop you out nasty. Like what I mean by that is now your risk is a quick move back above towards like 60.
See, so here's the thing. So it's beat down today. What if the report has any type of upside surprise in it? People might think, well, this is beaten down. We got an upside surprise. Let's jam this puppy. And then all of a sudden your short expires worthless, or your puts.
Yeah, and it always matters a lot on what day you report. And that's why I hate running into earnings, because it could be that we have a red day. And then towards the end of the day, we get like a pop. That little pop could just ruin your trade, man. Yeah. So that's the hard part there. And that's why I struggle trading like options, especially like, let's say weekly options, like, like 0 DTE options, things like that. It's like, come on, man. I cannot trade those things at all. I will tell you right now, if I tried to do those, I might as well just give my money away to charity.
I was going to say, we have a 3-year bond auction, I believe, this afternoon, 1 p.m. So watch yields, because
Nick, you're buying bonds?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, because I think it was a week ago or two, we had the Bank of Japan come out saying something with their bonds and what they're going to do with their economy. And then I think we had a 7-year auction, and that really tumbled. So just watch yields, PPI, CPI this week. Earnings continue to roll on. Disney tomorrow night. And that's about it, I think.
I think, honestly, one thing I want to really keep an eye out for, and it's maybe not even the best to talk about during trading, but it's just political concerns. And that's the only thing that I think could ruin this like bull market that we're in. Some people are starting to think about, oh, is this just the biggest bear market rally that we've ever had? I don't know about. There would need to be some more political unrest. And
there's going to be plenty of that.
Yeah, but the only question is, you guys know what I'm probably referring to in Taiwan and China. That's really the one.
That I can't predict.
Turning boat, and we can't. No one can. Yeah, no one can. And I think that's the hardest thing, because as an investor, what can you do there? You just really can't do much. Like, I don't think anybody knows if that's going to happen or not.
And that's 11 a.m. already. Wow, this show went fast today.
Yeah, it did. There was a lot of stuff going on. And I do have to get rolling here.
11. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. I did see that there was like a new documentary put out by China just literally just yesterday. So just take a look, guys. Just be careful out there, team. All right, that's going to do it for us. We had a great day here. We'll always keep it going right here on live trading. Coming up next, you guys will get Benzinga Live. That's coming up next. Don't miss it. And of course, if you guys want to learn a little bit more about AI, it's a really interesting company, always on Benzinga Live now. Check it out. They'll be on right next. Don't go anywhere. Stick right here. It's good to have you, Nick Brown, Ryan Faloona. And of course, I'll be wrapping up, guys. I'll see you guys over on Benzinga Live. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We always got more for you right here, of course, on Benzinga.